We've had some time to marinate. Now let's get those reactions in. What's going on, everyone? It's Rich Haywood here for Bacon Ice Cream Productions and Team RTFC, welcoming you to yet another episode of Good Times with Retro Rich. Yes, indeed, the Evercade Indie Showcase has happened, and it is time for some reactions. And this reactions episode is brought to you by the GTC themselves. Yes, that's right. They have spoken. This was a day. There was another video that was supposed to come out in tandem. And I said, there's only time for one. Is it the reactions or is it the other video? And they were like, give me those reactions. So boom. There it is. We're here. We're here for you. So let's get into it. Evercade Indie Showcase. Now, I'm not going to go through the showcase itself. Some points, though, I will say. Really, really cool. It's cool to hear another, like, ethereal voice coming from the Blaze ether. I don't know if it's Amy or somebody else or whoever, but it wasn't Sean this time. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. So kudos there. Showcase overall, again, great presentation. It was put together well. I enjoyed how I enjoyed the flow. I enjoyed all those kind of things. But what we're here for is we're here for the meat and potatoes. We're here for the meat and potatoes of this thing right now. And what is that? Well, of course, it's the collections. It's the games. Let's go. Let's get into this. Now, they started off with the Home Computer Heroes Collection 1. So this is like the indie heroes of computer games, right? Very cool. I like the branding. I like the fact that they're diving into there because that opens the door for homebrew or modern retro, as what they're calling it, games. That's really, really cool. These games look really awesome, and they bring the door wide open to not only Amiga, which we have, and C64, which we have, but MSX is coming to Evercade by way of this collection, which is really cool. So we've got not only, your first indie collection is a bunch of really cool computer games, but what they're also doing is slipping in yet another computer, another computer, like an emulation form, to deliver to us in the way of this game series, which is great. It's great. So do we get Spectrum next? Do we get ZX Spectrum next? I don't know. We're supposed to have two platforms that are introduced in the year 2023 that we didn't know about, MSX being one of them. And all the carts seem to be ready, except for one. But what's it going to be? We don't know. We don't know what the end of the year brings us, but we'll get to that later. Now, I want to go quick and scrub through these games. And I want to drive home a specific point that makes me very happy about this entire collection. So here we have Attack of the Petsky Robots, which is that's pretty funny. Looks really cool, top down, awesome. Never played or barely even heard of this one before. Very cool. So we go to the next one, Bridge Strike. Looking cool, very River Raid-like, very, very like cool top-down shootery. I'm bad at these games, but it's cool, but I've never heard of it. Then we go to Citadel Remonstered, looking really cool. Got that whole old school. I heard a friend of mine say that this is a boomer shooter. Interesting. I've never heard of that. I didn't know that existed, but if a boomer shooter is a thing, this might be a thing that is a boomer shooter. Doesn't matter to me what it's called. I've never heard of this. So then we go further. Now, Farming Simulator, I have heard. And that's an interesting call because, usually you associate that with the modern systems, the Xboxes and the PlayStations and all that kind of stuff, and the PCs and the Steams, and, you've got your simulators everywhere. But an 8-bit one, that's pretty cool. I might have to check this out. And apparently, they're pretty decent. Planet X2 is a top-down strategy game looking very, very old school, but is new. Like, it's a newer style game. Very cool looking. Very cool looking. And again, haven't heard of that one. Tanks Fury looks really cool. It has like a weird kind of Advance Wars aesthetic to it. It's like really cool looking, but it looks like it's a 4-player action kind of game. I don't know if that's what it is, like just regular like tank or combat or something. Those kind of games could be amazingly fun in the right context. So looking out for that one, looking forward to playing this. Sword of Iana. We only get like a couple seconds of that. And also Tanks Fury. Just never, I don't know. Like, and it's like furry Fury, because I guess they're all cats or whatever. Kind of cool. And then Sword of Iana, side-scrolling awesomeness for the MSX, looking really awesome, looking very cool. Very interested in playing this one. Also, never heard of it. What does that mean? That more than 70% of this cartridge is pure discovery for this guy. And that means one thing and one thing only. Very, very cool stuff. Starting off with a bang there, because this is why I come to Evercade. I come to Evercade for discovery. You give me stuff that I haven't seen, I will look at it and go, I like these things. I'm interested in playing these things. And then we get to the games come out, and 9 times out of 10, it's like a hit. It's an awesome thing, because you didn't expect them to program it this way. You didn't know if it's going to be that fun. You didn't know the controls were going to hit that hard. It's like, because there's a lot of modern design aesthetic being brought to the indie games, even when they're doing like the modern retro kind of thing. It might look weird, but then when you play it, it makes sense, because the people that are making it are like making it with modern sensibilities in mind. So, it's a lot of times they wind up impressing you more than just that first blush would entail, which is cool. That one's coming out in October, and pre-orders as of tomorrow, I think, is this one. I'm pretty sure, because then we get to the next, which is not one, but two dual carts. So let's check those out right now.
Peggy 12.
Yes, Peggy 12, man. All right. So Evercade is presenting 2 new modern retro collections featuring 4 great indie games. That's right, your dual carts. And the first one right off the bat, Good Boy Galaxy and Witch and Whiz. I cannot wait for this. I don't know why. It's like a cutie platformer kind of thing. I totally want to play this. You're like a little doggy running around. Very cool. The Witch and Whiz, like it's a puzzle platformer. I'm just rewinding this again. So it was like, look at that little guy jumping around. It's like almost like a Commander Keen kind of thing. Like I get that vibe, and that just takes me right back. And then this right here is like there's a game. It's like, what is it? Was it Kickle Cubicle or something like that? There was a game that was kind of like that, but this is like, obviously it's a little different, and the play style is probably going to be a little different. But it's an action puzzle game. I love those kind of games, and to have both of those in there, and it's also like very cool. It looks very kid friendly. Something I just like give to Douglas or whatever, and he can play and enjoy them too. Very, very awesome stuff. Very, like, I'm really like hyped about this, which is really, really cool. Then we get to this one, and this one comes kind of out of nowhere. So, all right, you've got the kid-friendly, like, cool stuff, and then like bang, hitting you with some Demons of Asborg, which people have been asking for. There was people mentioning it in Evercast. There was people mentioning it in comments. There was people just like talking about this thing, and look at it. It kind of looks like if you went to like a game like a Ghouls and Ghosts or a Castlevania, and you're like, or even like a Golden Axe or something like that, and you're like, hey, what if we just made this like crazy cool adventure thing, and it looked really awesome, and you can even see like the damage stuff going on, like, that's like in like a Castlevania or something like that. Really cool. Very, very cool stuff. And then you've got Aster Bros. Now this one is another one that was talked about like pretty widely in like friend circles and in Evercast and in comments and like that kind of people were really kind of like banging the door about this. And somebody else actually on the Facebook group just straight up called this cart. And then everyone was like, no, it's not happening. Well, he's happy. That guy on the Facebook group, hats off to you, because that's an awesome call. And it looks like it's going to be a great game combo. And the cool thing about Astro Bros is it's a 2-player game. So you can play them 2 players simultaneous on VS, which is awesome. Like, yes, give me more of that kind of stuff, please. Definitely looking like that one's going to be worth it as well. I'm digging it. These are available December 23, and I'm sure the pre-orders are in like I think they said it's like in September or something like that. So I think it might actually be right here at the end of this. Nope, they didn't put it on the end of this trailer, but I'm pretty sure it's at the end of September. They say it in the showcase. So with that stuff, pretty cool. Very cool. I'm very excited about those kind of things. A little more about those 2 games. The Good Boy Galaxy says, take on the role of Maxwell the dog in Good Boy Galaxy, one of the best exploration platformers on Evercade, which is cool. Solve puzzles, defeat enemies, make new friends, and on your quest to repair your spaceship. And it looks really cool because you can like talk to people in the trailer. I didn't do any of the sounds because I don't get whacked with copyright or whatever, but it seems like like it sounds like this, like the Star Fox kind of thing. It was like burr, 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 and like that just gets me. It's cool. And it says in Witch and Whiz, with an 8-bit puzzle platformer for Evercade, you'll delve into perilous dungeons and search for your childhood friends. Brains rather than brawn will save the day in this adventure, though, because of course it's a puzzle game. Very cool stuff. Demons, Asperg, and Asperos. In the article by Sean, Demon of Asterborg is one of the most impressive 16-bit titles available on Evercade, as the heroic Gareth fight back against demonic hordes and defend your homeland in this challenging all-action platformer. Yes, give me some of that. Astro Bros is a visually gorgeous 16-bit roguelike action platformer for the Evercade. Discover the origins of Asperg as you explore randomly generated dungeons and battle fearsome foes as 3 playable characters, and you can do 2 at once on the VS, which is yes. And then like I don't know, like do the 3 characters play differently? Do they have different skills or whatever? Probably. Looking very cool. Very, very cool stuff. Also in the showcase, they teased a game that looks like it's going to be a secret unlock, and that's kind of cool. That's very cool. And more on that later. Like, I'm sure the community's going to find it and everyone's going to play and good stuff, but like that's pretty cool. But they also said, hey, by the way, it's almost time for a new game of the month. And then they announced the new game of the month, and it's Doodle World Redrawn. And I was like, yes. I love Doodle World. Doodle World is one of my favorite games. I think it's definitely top 3 in all of Indie Heroes. It's in the top 3 for me, for sure. And I just love the game, and getting more of it. I'm all in. So Doodle World Redrawn is going to be this month's game. I'm definitely going to update if they drop it tomorrow or Wednesday. I will have it ready. Ooh, I can even have it on VS. So we will definitely do some kind of fun for 5 action on Doodle World Redrawn as soon as it drops. Whether I'm on a vacation or not, you will see my happy face somewhere, and we will do it. So that's very, very cool. Very cool and really awesome stuff that's coming out. Now they teased like some stuff, again, that's like feature wise, but they took the game of the month and they're like, hey, guess what? We're going to keep doing it. And it's like, all right, that's cool. But, and it is a great feature, and they should say it. And yes, they absolutely should tie it with indie. I 100% agree with the presentation stuff, but don't tease that you're going to do something like that. And you talk about how like all these cool things are coming to Evercade, and then don't drop something that you're working on, because one, it's one of those things which is like, come on, it's a half miss. It's a half miss on a presentation that's been hits so far. And also it makes my list be sad because we'll get to that in a second. Because I got annihilated again, but I did hit some pretty nice home runs. I got some points. I think I got more points this time than I did last time. We'll get to that in the end. But before we go anywhere else, one prediction did come true in a big way, and there is a one game cart coming to the Evercade. And what is it? It is by Out of the Bit, and it is Full Void. Now this game looks really, really, really rad. I like games that are atmospheric and, like cool puzzle platformy kind of things. I dig them. This like feels so much like, I know they say they referenced the Delphine games, but I can almost see something like like an Odd World, in this, not in the art style, but in the gameplay. So, but it's, I'm very, very interested, and it's brand new. Yes, this game might be available elsewhere as of right now or this month, or whatever. It came out. This game came out this month and will be available on an Evercade very soon in cartridge form, which is I think it's the only physical release I think that's available, because the only other release that is available currently is on a digital platform. So you can get a full cart for this game, and it's out in October, and pre-orders start tomorrow for this one. Which brings me to, you know what, we're going to watch this one again as I do this, but it brings me to another thing that I was talking about. So if they were going to put out a game that was going to be here's a big here's a big keynote title, something that was kind of huge, like, this is impressive for a number of reasons. One, it kind of shows more power of the Evercade, like what it's capable of doing. It looks awesome. The depth looks really cool. It definitely seems like it's pushing the hardware a little more than most of the other things that we've been playing. So that's going to be interesting. It is a native Evercade game. So it's a full game, and it's not a ROM. It's running full on Evercade hardware, built for Evercade hardware. Very cool stuff. I want to see more of this. Because I want to see them really like grow into having Evercade as a platform and a destination for games to be, in this kind of sense, in like the modern retro sense. I want games to start debuting on Evercade. This is like the half step, right? It's pretty close. The physical release of this game, which is the only physical release that I know of this game, is going to be on Evercade first, which is really cool. That's a huge hit. But I want to see it. Like the next time they go and do this, kudos to them for doing all of it. But the next time I see them do this, I want you straight, guys, listen. I want you straight up, boom, Evercade, first thing. This is an exclusive for Evercade. You can't get anywhere else. Here's the game. Done. It'd be so awesome. It'd be so, so awesome. And I think, you know what, at this point in year, what is it? What do we, year 4? Year 4 or year 5 or whatever. By the time this happens, you've got the install base, you've got the fans, you've got it. I think it's okay, and I think it's time to do that, because then this door's kicked wide open. You can have all sorts of crazy stuff, and it'd be really awesome. So now it's time to go down the checklist. It was about 10 predictions. It's time to start counting points. Now, how did I fare? How did I fare? There will be a one game card announced, and it'll be worth it. I'm giving myself a full point for that one, because there is a one game card. It was announced, and yes, I believe it's worth it, because that game looks awesome. Cannot wait to play it. Now, the one game card will come from a known publisher or Blaze Internal. I'm going to not give myself a point for that, because yes, they are sort of known in the modern retro space. Out of the Bit is the developer there, It's not Blaze internal. It is a native Evercade game, but it's not like, oh, hey, this is an internal team that made this game or whatever. So not given that. There will be an announcement that Blaze is internally working on games, but no cart for Blaze games yet. Well, I'm giving a point for that because there is no cart for Blaze games. But they definitely didn't announce the internal thing. So that's two. The 2 carts will appear as mentioned previously. I'm giving myself a half a point there, so that's 2.5. One of the carts will be awesome, and one will be a head scratcher. No, because they're both awesome in my opinion. So no head scratchers here. So that's a half a point. So that's 2.5. It's 2.5. Now we get to, there will be some homebrew carts. Atari Age, Coleco, and Television, yes please. I'm going to give myself a half point. Not in Atari Age, not a Coleco, not in Television, but the collection, the Home Computer Heroes Collection 1 is technically a homebrew cart. So I'm going to give myself a half point. So now we're at 3. We're at 3 points. So we've already surpassed last time, which is great. I'm getting better at this game. It says a new indie cart will be announced that surprises everyone, and it'll be a cart from a known dev, but from games from back in the day, think Housemarque. That totally did. That's a fail. No points. No points there. There'll be a new feature or always build that exciting coming in the fall, carried over from the first showcase. Still think this is happening. Well, it didn't happen, so no points. We get a Mega Cat 3. I thought for sure we were going to get a Mega. I thought for sure we were going to get it, but no. Nope. But there's something else. There will be a one more thing. There technically was, because it was the one game cart, and the one game will be WrestleQuest. It gets a first collector's edition Funstock bundle, so it's not WrestleQuest, but I called the first game collector's edition Funstock bundle. So 3.5, 3.5 points out of 10. It's still a fail, but we did it. We did it, folks. There's going to be a collector's edition game that you can pre-order on at Funstock tomorrow, and I'm getting it. I'm just going to get it. I'm getting it. What about you? What do you guys think of the showcase in general? What do you guys think of everything that we saw? Was it awesome? Was it not awesome? Were there things left on the table? Let me know down in the comments below. I think this was, if I was to give it like a letter grade, this is A-. A-. It's super solid. All the games were hits, in my opinion. The collections were hits, in my opinion. The cartridges, the presentation, everything. But the one thing that I will give that little half minus is on the fact that sometimes when you're doing all the indie stuff, and I know it's hard to because it was all indie, I'm still stuck on the fact that something that relates to the firmware that brings it all back to the hardware. The reason why you're playing all these games on this hardware is because we have the cool feature. Just give the feature. So a little bit of a minus there, but other than that, it's awesome. Totally cool. So anyway, let me know down below. Get in those comments. Light it up in there. I'll jump in. I'll be there. I'll be answering as much as I can during the week, and then all through the vacation and all through that stuff. Things coming up down the line on the channel. It'll be a little sporadic because this is the week where the first batch of me traveling around will happen. So we got to pack. We got to do all that kind of stuff. So there might be some things. There might not be some things. I can only promise what I can try to do. But I will promise one thing, and that's to the GTC, and that there will be a GTC video that's exclusive for GTC members only. That will drop tomorrow, 100%. And it has something to do with that box right there. So, boom. By the time you guys see anything happen after tomorrow, 9 p.m. EST-ish, that box will be gone because there'll be something to happen with it. Anyway, so that's that. So, and then during the vacation, hopefully we'll get some other stuff. I have a lot of pre-recorded stuff that I would like to put out and share with you guys. Hopefully we're going to get into some canon. I'm actually going to bring it So even if I don't get to shoot it, I might actually do like vacation shoots where I play canon and continue the completion quest and see what we can do. We missed the July deadline. I didn't finish it by the end of July, but hey, got a whole vacation. Maybe we can finish canon on the vacation. Maybe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. If you got here, thank you. Just thank you. And if you want to hang out some more and you found me on the Ethernet and you're like, what is this guy talking about Evercade and all that kind of stuff? Down below, hit the buttons, hit all the things, hit the likes, hit the subs, hit all that stuff. And then come in and join us because it's awesome. But we've reached the end of a video here at Bacon Ice Cream Productions. We have to do one thing and one thing only. And you guys know what it is. You guys all know. It is we have to thank every single member of the Good Times Club because they're so awesome. And without their support, well, you might not have even seen this video today, to be quite honest. So we have to thank every single member of the Good Times Club. So let's do that right now. We thank the EverCanadian. We thank Crimson Cross. We thank George Games. We thank Chris Westerman, Phantom Fiction, Skeletrex, Lloyd Archen, Papa Pete, the Intellivision Gamer, Ken LaCure, and Mr. Shua, all members of the Good Times Club. Thank you guys so much for being members. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. And, well, just thanks so much for your support. But until next time, we will catch you next time for some good times. I'm Rich. We will see you later. Take it easy, guys. RTFC.baconicecream.com